Europe is preparing for war in the hopes of deterring it from happening in the first place. European leaders just announced a massive military spending spree when they unveiled this $840 billion plan, officially known as the Rearm Europe Plan, unofficially known as the Don't F with Europe Plan. The EU chief said, quote, "Europe is ready to massively boost its defense spending to address the long-term need to take on much more responsibility for our own European security," end quote. It's a strong signal of their intent to remain a reliable ally to Ukraine, as billions of dollars will now pour into improving military readiness across the continent. Cooperation between the 28 different countries in Europe will increase as the post-World War II security order is radically reshaped. Welcome, Spare Parts Army. I'm your average infantryman, Chris Cappy, and today I want to examine the history of European defense cooperation and the new direction it's going in. We'll take a look at the capabilities of the main European defense production companies that will see the greatest share of this defense money flowing to them. And we'll analyze the changes this might have on the nuclear posture on the continent. The European defense idea, a brief history. These changes remind me of an idea that's been floated by politicians and military advisors for decades. In October 1950, France proposed a wild idea called the European Army. This was in the ashes of World War II, so we have to remember this was a very different idea of European countries like the UK, Germany, and Italy coming together and cooperating on security. It seemed crazy. They'd just been at war with each other for years. It seemed far-fetched. However, French Prime Minister René Pleven made a proposal for what was called the European Defense Community. It had some major differences compared to what NATO would become. It would have the authority above all nations, and it would share one common budget. In this very different timeline, there would be shared weaponry and procurement across Europe. France, the Federal Republic of Germany, Italy, Belgium, Netherlands, and Luxembourg would combine forces. One of its original goals was to prevent Germany from becoming a standing army again so soon after World War II. France proposed the Pleven Plan to form a multinational European defense force that would have German troops mixed into it alongside other allies, instead of forming their own national German army. The other intention was to have what was called the Inner Six countries to strengthen defense against the Soviet threat. The way the alliance has always framed itself is as a protection of liberal values against an oppressive, authoritarian regime of the Soviet Union. In fact, this European army got very close to actually happening in May 1952 when all the countries signed the treaty. For the following 2 years, a lot of planning was put into action on how to create this new European army within NATO.